begins as Earth enters a severe ice age. During this crisis, a strange portal appears in orbit from an unknown source, connecting the planet to another star system that contains a habitable world known as Rhea. After sending probes through the gateway and into the wormhole, scientists learn that time passes very differently there, with a single year on Earth equal to 18 years on Rhea. As conditions on Earth continue to worsen, thousands of people escape through the portal to start new lives on Rhea. However, many are left behind. Eventually, Earth's resources run out completely, forcing a massive wave of migration. The settlers already living on Rhea are unhappy about the arrival of more refugees. Among those trying to reach the new world is Bran Marshall. While traveling aboard a refugee ship, the vessel comes under attack shortly before reaching its destination. Only Bran survives by escaping in a rescue capsule along with his AI companion, Edison. As their oxygen supply drops to only a few remaining hours, Edison detects a nearby spacecraft called the NISA. Although the ship does not respond to communication attempts, Edison recommends heading toward it.
Open your eyes, Bran. You need to wake up. You're down to 12% oxygen. You wouldn't make it.
I can hold my breath.
For 13 hours? You're not going to like it.
Try me.
Reaching the vessel requires a dangerous burst of acceleration that could seriously injure Bran. He possesses a drug designed to help the body withstand extreme G-forces, but it must be injected directly into the heart. Knowing he has no alternative, he administers the drug and begins the maneuver.
A little higher, actually.
Will you shut up?
I was just saying.
Well done.
3, 2, 1.
8 years earlier, Bran and his daughter Riley attended the burial of his wife near the home of Riley's grandfather. After the funeral, they returned to the old man's house. There, a neighbor arrives and complains about worsening food shortages because crops no longer grow on her farm. Feeling sympathy for her situation, the grandfather gives her a box of canned food.
I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Once she leaves, Bran criticizes the decision, believing it is dangerous to reveal valuable supplies when resources are scarce. He urges the old man to leave before word spreads. Soon after, Bran goes to Riley. As they look at the portal, she asks him what it would be like up there, while grieving the loss of her mother.
Shouldn't have done that. Shown Jane the supplies that we found. It's too dangerous.
Human beings don't change. One of us will.
Back in the present, the capsule successfully docks with the NISA. Exhausted from the intense strain, Bran regains consciousness and enters the spacecraft. After reactivating Edison and asking him for directions, he learns that the AI does not know because he has never been there before.
I have no clue, since I've never been on a Rhian supply ship.
Bran then begins exploring the nearby sections of the vessel. Before long, he discovers several dead crew members. Looking at the bodies, he wonders what kind of conflict could have taken place so far from any planet.
I can understand Earthers killing each other over an air scrubber, but what excuse do these guys have?
As he continues searching, he finds a wall covered with photographs of the crew. The site reminds him that the people of Rhea, after living there for 600 years, view themselves as superior and more advanced than those from Earth. Edison then comments that they all look the same to him.
They think they're better than us.
You all look the same to me.
Soon afterward, Bran locates supplies containing food and medicine. His relief is short-lived when Edison detects increasing levels of radiation. Moments later, Bran encounters an armed woman named Osha pointing a weapon at him. She immediately suspects him of murdering the crew. Bran insists that he has only recently arrived and had nothing to do with their deaths.
You kill my crew, why? This is how you show thanks?
I just got here. It wasn't me.
The woman is furious and accuses Earth refugees of betraying the people of Rhea despite all the help they had received. Bran tells her that if she truly believes he is responsible for the deaths, she should act on it. Instead, he suddenly throws a piece of metal at her and pushes her aside. She begins to shoot, but he quickly escapes.
What is wrong with your ship?
You damaged it. Tell me what you did.
Your crew killed each other. You must have missed it somehow.
Osha quickly recovers and uses her knowledge of the ship to stay ahead of him. She intercepts him in another passageway and knocks him to the floor. Bran manages to break free and runs again, eventually reaching the medical bay. He seals the doors just before she can get inside.
Oh, that was a good hit. I thought you Rhians were supposed to have brittle bones.
Funny Arthur making jokes.
While inside, he takes some medicine and puts part of it in his pocket. He then notices a crew member's body preserved inside a medical pod. He shows the man to Edison, who tells him that he has been shot. A nearby terminal contains records for everyone aboard the ship. Bran searches through the information and identifies the woman, but the data still does not explain the deaths of the crew.
Seems to have been shot.
What I really want to know is who's our angry friend outside.
Soon he realizes Osha is forcing her way into the medical bay. Bran hides and waits for the right moment. As she enters, he strikes her from behind and knocks her unconscious before leaving the room. The woman regains consciousness shortly afterward and activates the ship's fire suppression system. Oxygen begins disappearing from several sections of the vessel. Struggling to breathe, Bran finds an oxygen line and stays close to it. Before long, Osha appears again, this time wearing a breathing mask.
She's flushing the oxygen out of the corridor.
Another fight breaks out between them. Bran is weakened from the lack of oxygen, but he still manages to overpower her. However, due to the lack of oxygen, he loses consciousness for a moment. At the same time, Edison restores the ship's air supply. As soon as Bran can breathe again, he strikes Osha, leaving her unconscious on the floor.
Is she okay?
She'll live.
Bran then makes his way to the bridge. His plan is to have Edison access the ship's systems. During the process, Edison discovers that the people of Rhea strongly oppose artificial intelligence because they blame it for contributing to Earth's collapse. As a result, the ship has no AI of its own. Edison also notes that despite nearly 6 centuries of development, Ryan's society has not advanced as far beyond humanity as Bran expected.
Rheans don't use AI assistants as a general rule.
Lame.
They think that's how their ancestors ruined the Earth.
Even so, Edison succeeds in connecting to the ship's control network. A short time later, Osha recovers and reaches the bridge. From outside the locked room, she desperately tries to stop Bran from interacting with a specific control on the display. She warns him not to activate it, but Bran refuses to listen.
What?
Touch that!
Yeah?
You don't
want me to
understand!
touch it, right?
No.
He is frustrated by the fact that the people of Rhea decide who is allowed to settle on the planet. In his view, they all originally came from Earth, yet the Rheans now attack refugee ships and prevent others from reaching the world they share. Acting out of anger and believing the button will restore power, Bran activates the control.
Rhea was supposed to be for everyone.
Osha is stunned that he actually goes through with it. As alarms begin sounding throughout the ship, Edison criticizes Bran's decision and warns that the consequences of his actions could be severe. Immediately after Bran activates the control, the ship's gravity suddenly increases, throwing him hard onto the floor.
Really wish you hadn't done that, Bran. What?
The story then returns to the past. After failing to persuade his father-in-law to leave, Bran goes to a field and digs up a hidden box containing the savings he and Riley's mother had set aside so Riley could travel to Rhea. Riley refuses to leave her family behind. Bran tells her that they had planned to save enough for everyone. But after her mother's passing, both he and her grandfather believed they were too old to begin a new life on another world and decided to stay.
We were going to save up for all of us, but now that your mum's... My place is down here with her.
Their discussion is interrupted when an alarm suddenly goes off. Bran quickly tells Riley to hide the money and get inside a storage container while he arms himself. Back in the present, Bran regains consciousness. Edison explains that the ship's systems were intentionally sabotaged. The navigation controls were destroyed, causing the vessel to lose proper guidance. When Bran restarted the engines, he unknowingly made them impossible to shut down. Edison reveals that the ship is now heading toward a beacon. Once it passes near a small celestial body, its course will shift and send it directly into a refugee station, resulting in the deaths of hundreds of people.
And our ability to steer this thing is totally gone.
Alright, so we definitely have some issues.
Then this ship is on a collision course with the refugee station. Everyone is going to die, Bran.
Bran realizes he cannot solve the situation by himself. However, the moment he opens the door, the woman attacks him again. He manages to restrain her in a chair and accuses both her and the people of Rhea of creating the disaster to eliminate refugees. As they continue to argue, Edison tries to talk to Osha by her language, but Bran tells him not to and orders her to speak English as she begins to mock him.
You're trying to make genocide look like a ship malfunction, aren't you?
Come on, Dinah! This is you!
I was not on your ship!
Baju Yinma Yu Chan Dishawa, Arthur!
OSHA rejects the accusation and instead believes Earth refugees were responsible. She explains that the NISA had been transporting supplies to an Earth refugee station. During a routine inspection, authorities discovered undeclared cargo aboard the ship. While the investigation was taking place, she went into cryosleep. When she later awoke, gunfire was already spreading throughout the vessel. The dying captain informed her that he had disabled the ship's systems. She then rushed toward the bridge to learn what had happened, only for Brand to appear shortly afterward.
Just trying to figure out how to fix it when this Mayha breaks in, hurts me, and then restarts the ship! Sneaky Earther, always...
Bran again insists that he arrived after the violence was already over. He mentions the man preserved in the medical pod. Bran suggests that Decca may have been responsible for the deaths before placing himself in the pod. The woman introduces herself as Osha. Bran notices a bracelet on her wrist that resembles those worn by convicted criminals. Osha admits that she has killed Earthlings in the past. Their argument continues until Edison interrupts and reminds them that survival depends on cooperation.
Decker, how did you get into the med pod? You're doing some kind of community service, aren't you?
What?
You're a criminal. You were arrested, and they're making you serve your time on this ship, aren't they?
Number 1, Earther Killer.
A plan is formed. Osha must enter the engine section, where a large breach has opened in the hull, and disconnect the engines. She asks why she is the one being sent out to fix them. Bran tells her that if he were the one going outside, she would never let him back in.
Because if I go out there, you're never going to let me back in again. That's why.
Okay. Explain me again.
Edison then explains that the ship is currently moving through a field of space debris. Bran cannot resist pointing out that much of it comes from Earth vessels destroyed by the people of Rhea. Before the disagreement can escalate further, Edison redirects their attention to the crisis at hand.
We're going too fast and we can't turn to avoid the larger pieces of junk. This ship is equipped with 2 manual thrusters, meant for fine adjustments in tricky dockings.
Edison then explains that, at the same time, Bran will need to operate a required control from another location inside the ship. Osha leaves to carry out her task, making a dismissive gesture toward Bran before departing.
Only if you two operate them in unison. The room is depressurized, so keep an eye on your O2 levels. Oh, and watch out for debris.
Osha begins working on disconnecting one of the engines. Bran warns her about the large breach in the hull and the dense field of debris ahead, telling her that she has to be fast. After finishing with the first engine, they move on to the second. During the operation, Osha's oxygen supply becomes depleted. As she quickly reaches the second engine, she discovers that it is frozen and cannot be moved, and the two continue arguing. Edison then tells Bran to go help Osha because she has run out of oxygen.
The handle's frozen. A coolant leak, I think.
Try harder.
Do you want to come in here and do it yourself?
At the same time, Osha begins to suffocate. Bran reaches her and starts performing CPR. He leans in to give her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, but she suddenly wakes up and tells him never to do that again. In the meantime, Deka suddenly regains consciousness and climbs out of the medical pod.
Don't do that again.
Sorry to interrupt, but you are both about to die.
Later, Edison explains that changing the ship's course will require both of them to operate the engine controls at exactly the same time. Bran and Osha take their positions and grab the control sticks. The first maneuver succeeds, but the sudden acceleration throws them around violently.
If you're out of sync, you'll send the ship into a spin, and that will probably kill you.
Move the joysticks together, don't die. Got it.
They complete another adjustment and collapse under the strain of the extreme gravity. During the maneuver, Bran lands on his arm and dislocates it. Edison then warns them that a large object is directly ahead. Despite the pain, Osha gets up, takes her position, and waits for Bran to do the same, but he cannot get back in time because of the pain. As a result, the ship collides with debris.
Incoming object, and it's a big one. Bran, we need you to get back up.
Osha then goes to Bran, who has been pushed to his limit, and starts making fun of him before offering to help. Osha then resets his dislocated arm, causing such intense pain that it knocks him unconscious.
Let me help you.
Bran finds himself reliving another memory from Earth. A group of neighbors, including the woman who receives supplies from his father-in-law, arrives at his father-in-law's home after learning about the hidden food supplies. The grandfather orders them to leave, but the group's leader refuses because his family is starving and his parents have already died. He explains that he has no choice and that if he does this, his family might have a chance to survive. To pressure them into cooperating, he orders his companions to search for Riley.
All 3 of you get back in the truck.
No, please don't think that I want to do this.
one of the men discovers the container where she is hiding. Bran and the grandfather immediately open fire, killing the intruders before they can fully react. Riley comes out of hiding only to discover that the woman is also armed and still a threat. A shootout follows, and although Bran is wounded in the process, he manages to kill her and bring the fight to an end. Back in the present, Osha notices a photograph of Riley and studies it for a moment. Bran admits that he lost his daughter. To his surprise, Osha reveals that she also lost her family. She explains that many people on Rhea supported helping Earth refugees, but the government did not approve of those efforts. Although she does not fully understand the political situation, she knows that many Ryans do not share the belief that Earthlings are dangerous or should be blocked from entering through the portal.
She a refugee too?
No.
I lost my family too.
Bran explains that leaving Earth was never what he wanted, but circumstances left him with no choice. He says that he made a promise to his daughter that he would stay alive no matter what happened, and that promise is what kept him going.
Made a promise to someone, and what choice do I have anyway?
Edison interrupts the conversation and reminds them that there is still work to do. Both Osha and Edison tell Bran that it is his turn to enter the navigation section and replace several burned-out control boards. The problem is that the compartment is freezing cold and exposed to temperatures of -40 degrees, making it extremely dangerous to survive inside for long.
Pull out the infected motherboards.
His turn.
What?
She's right, it is kind of your turn, Bran.
What do I have to do?
After putting on a protective suit, Bran prepares to enter the freezing area. Osha laughs at the unusual appearance of the suit and teases him lightly. He asks her what it is like on Rhea, and she tells him that Rhea is warm and much more stable. The comment reminds him of his late wife, and he smiles faintly before telling her that warm is good. He then proceeds to open the door and get inside. Bran enters the frozen compartment and begins searching for the damaged boards, carefully checking each system as he disconnects the ones that are not working.
What's it like down there? On Rhea?
Warm.
At the same time, Dekka wakes up and deliberately destroys one of the ship's switches, worsening the situation. Osha notices what he has done and confronts him in a nearby corridor, trying to stop him from causing further damage. She is shocked because Dekka is also one of the migrants. Dekka then starts to attack her and soon admits that he was forced into the situation. According to him, the authorities on Rhea took his children and threatened that they would be sent back to the station unless he carried out the mission. The plan was simple: an Earth refugee would be blamed for destroying his own people. Before that could happen, however, Dekka had been instructed to eliminate Osha as well.
If I do this, there won't be a station to go back to. Your government. Nice, easy way to get rid of the migration problem. Fly the ship clean into it.
How could you?
You think I want to do this?
While this confrontation unfolds, Bran finishes repairing the navigation system and asks Osha to let him back inside the ship. Osha cannot respond because she is fighting for her life against Dekka and struggling to defend herself. Trapped in the freezing section, Bran searches for another way back in. To squeeze through an emergency exit, he is forced to remove part of his protective gear, pushing himself to the limit in the deadly cold. He makes his way back out and pushes forward again, fighting to survive. Barely able to continue, he reaches the airlock, opens the door, and collapses inside the corridor from exhaustion and extreme exposure to the cold. At that moment, Osha manages to overpower Dekka and knock him unconscious. She immediately rushes to Bran's side and places him inside a medical capsule to save his life.
He will live.
He's not going to be very happy about that.
Did it work?
Edison confirms that their efforts were successful and that once the system is rebooted, control of the ship will be restored. Bran wakes up again inside the medical capsule and steps out. Osha explains what she learned from Dekka. Bran suggests that they should use the information as evidence to force the Rhean government to answer for what happened. But Edison says they must complete their current mission first.
They even threatened to send his family back to the refugee station, Bran.
Who did?
Edison alerts them that a severe gravity surge is approaching. Bran goes to the cargo area to retrieve medication. At the same time, Osha works on the control system, which can only be fixed by disconnecting one of the console wires. Edison cannot identify the correct one, so Osha has to figure it out through trial and error. While this is happening, Bran discovers both a drug supply and a large explosive device. He takes it and heads toward the bridge, but Dekka regains consciousness and attacks him, knocking him down.
In the slingshot soon. There is no way we'll slow the ship down before then.
In the cargo hold, there's a case in there.
All right, go.
Edison, how?
If it's not the right one, put it back quickly.
Okay, let's do this.
OSHA is left with 2 remaining wires, one of which is linked to the life support system and requires a 3-minute reboot. Disconnecting it would force her to hold her breath for that period. She hesitates, but circumstances leave her with no choice. She decides to pull one of the wires, and luckily it is the right one. Meanwhile, Decca apologizes to Bran, but says he is willing to do anything to protect his family. Another intense gravity surge hits the ship, and Bran is thrown into a memory from the past.
One of these is a firewall, and the other is a life support. Maybe take a deep breath.
In the memory, he finds Riley badly injured in her final moments. Before dying, she gives him Edison, who she had created herself, and makes him promise to leave Earth. She then passes away while he holds her in his arms, sobbing.
I'll see, Mom.
Back in the present, Edison gives OSHA final instructions and tells her not to sacrifice herself, but OSHA refuses to do it alone and waits for Bran to arrive. Bran starts to fight Decca on the way. Soon he is thrown away from Decca, and Bran then injects himself with the serum and goes to help OSHA. Using his remaining strength, he reaches the bridge in time to deliver the anti-G-force medication to OSHA. When the ship accelerates to such high speed, he is thrown across the room because he was not secured to anything.
It's very unlikely you're going to be awake when that happens, so I need you to prep the manual reset of the ship now.
It's Bran's decision, not mine.
He's not here, though.
He then recalls the day of Riley's funeral, when his father-in-law reminded him of the promise he made to her. In that moment, he once again considers the idea that he might still change something in the world. And it is also when he first activated Edison.
There may be a world up there, but you can make a difference.
Back in the present, Bran and OSHA regain awareness. Edison explains that full control of the ship can only be restored by rebooting all systems, which will reset him to factory settings. Bran at first refuses, but eventually accepts the decision, and Edison agrees, stating there is no other option.
It's the only way, Bran.
Before the reboot, Edison uploads Decca's confession video into the system, so it will be released publicly afterward, exposing the government's actions. He then tells OSHA to look after Bran. Bran says goodbye to Edison and initiates the reboot. The ship changes course and moves away from the station. With his final effort, Decca triggers the bomb, and the alert is sent to the bridge. OSHA tries to guide the ship toward the gate while Bran carries the bomb toward the airlock. OSHA then pilots the ship through the portal and they reach Earth's side. Bran then realizes the airlock is not working, so he decides to go into space himself with the bomb. He apologizes to OSHA and tells her to place Riley's photo somewhere warm on Rhea, as she pleads with him not to do it.
Put that somewhere warm on Rhea for me, will ya? I want her to see it.
An explosion occurs outside the ship, and OSHA reacts in shock and grief. Soon after, she hears a knock at the viewport and finds that Bran has survived and returned. Together, they look at Earth covered in ice and begin discussing how to repair the ship. Over 9 months, they gradually restore and fine-tune its systems. 15 years have passed on Rhea during this time, and the two prepare for their return journey together.
Well, then we better get to work.
As they approach, they receive a communication from Rhea. The dispatcher expresses relief and joy at the ship's return, as it has become a legendary mission that could change how humans and Rheans relate to each other. Bran says they did it. Bran and OSHA look at each other and smile. Soon after, their ship reaches Rhea safely.
We're on a supply ship called the Nissa.
It's an honor to welcome you home. We'll send you landing coordinates now. A lot has changed down here whilst you've been gone.
I can see that.